Hey friends, in today's video we are creating this look. I love the way that it came out. I'm using all products from Sephora in honor of the Sephora Savings event, which just kicked off for Rouge members. These are some of my favorite products. Definitely not all of my favorite products from Sephora, but some of my favorites. And I picked products that I thought would work well for all skin types. So the foundation that I picked was a foundation that I feel like works well for everybody, not just oily skin, not just dry skin, not just, 20-year-old skin, but really everyone's skin. So that's kind of how I curated the products that we're using today. I'm also sprinkling in some new products that I picked up from Sephora that I'm excited to share with you guys. Before we get started, I do want to thank Sephora for partnering with me on this video, and I do want to share the details for the Sephora Savings event. So the Sephora Savings event is an event that happens every year, and it basically rewards Beauty Insider members. Beauty Insider program is a free program. You can sign up at Sephora.com, and you basically accumulate and earn points as you shop throughout the year. Now, depending on how many points you have, will determine the tier that you are. There's Rouge, VIB, and Insiders. Rouge has early access, and I'm going to have all the details and fine, dates and all that down below. But Rouge members get to save 20% off their entire purchase in-store or online. VIBs get to save up to 15% and Insiders 10%. Now, in addition to that, all Beauty Insider members get 30% off the Sephora collection products. So that's a huge savings, and it's the entire length of the Sephora Savings event through the 6th. So all those details will be summarized below. Before we get started, I wanted to shout out one product that I didn't use on camera, but I wanted to share this because this is part of the Sephora collection of products. This is the Vitamin C Glow Serum, and you guys, this is such a beautiful lightweight formula. If you like a really lightweight serum, vitamin C, this one is so good. It is part of the Sephora Savings event, and you can save 30% off of it. I apply it morning and night after you cleanse the skin, and then you go in with your regular skincare products. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go. The skin is clean. The only thing that I have on right now are brows. I did those off camera, but I will list the brow products that I used down in the description box. So the foundation that I chose to use today is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. Now, obviously, there are many foundations that I love from Sephora. If you watch my content, you've heard me talk about them all. I decided to choose this one today because I really feel like this foundation is great for the masses, like regardless of what skin type you have, whether it's dry or oily or combo, or if you're 20 or you're 80, I feel like this foundation is beautiful on all skin types. This would be a foundation that I would pack in my makeup kit if I were still doing makeup. If I was still working makeup artist, this would be a foundation or one very similar because it just possesses all of the qualities that you want in a foundation. The coverage is phenomenal. I would say it's medium coverage, but you can really build it to get more coverage in certain areas if you'd like. The finish on it is very natural. It looks like natural, healthy skin. So it's great for like drier skin types because it's not going to give you a flat matte look, but it also is okay for oily skin types because it's not shiny. It gives you a little bit of a radiance, but it looks good all day long, and you don't have to worry about it getting shiny or like moving or creasing. It doesn't settle in fine lines or texture. It is an absolutely beautiful foundation. So I'm just applying this on the skin, and I don't need a ton of coverage, so I'm gonna try and get away with using as little as possible. I always like to start in the center of my face. The coverage that I do need more of is always there, so we always start there, kind of build to get what we can from the foundation, and then we work and blend out. By the way, you guys, I am in the shade Santa Fe. I wear a few shades in this. I wear Santa Fe and a couple others, so I'm gonna list them down below, but it's a very forgiving foundation, and they have, a ton of shades, so they have a shade for everybody. Now I'm just gonna kind of sweep this on the forehead, keep it really light and sheer on the forehead. I don't usually have much to cover there, although I do have a little breakout there. I have been playing with a new moisturizer, and I don't know if that is causing me to break out. I don't have a lot of breakouts, but I have a little pimple there, and then I had one pop up over here, and I don't really have breakouts, so I'm wondering if it's the moisturizer that I'm using. Okay, so now we've had that all applied all over the skin. So beautiful. This shade is like a perfect match for me, and I actually have quite a bit of the foundation still left on my hand. That's another thing I love about this foundation is that A little goes a long way. It's very spreadable. The consistency just really lends itself to being able to spread it, glide it over the skin. It doesn't set super quickly, so you really have some time to go in there and blend it out, sheer it out before it dries. So that's nice. Okay, you guys, going in with concealer. Now, this is another just like foundation. I have a lot of concealers I love from Sephora, and many of them, I feel like it's been the year of concealers this year. So many new concealer launches, and I've really enjoyed most of them. But I did pick the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. By the way, I'm shade LM9. I picked it for this video because this is just a tried and true concealer for me. I've loved this concealer for many years. What I love about this concealer, similar to that foundation, I feel like this concealer is great for everybody. You know, there are products that I love that I know not everybody will love. Example, the Tarte Shape Tape. I love that one because it's full coverage, but some people don't like it because it's too heavy. This one I chose because I feel like it is just loved by everybody. You know, anyone can wear this concealer and I think they will enjoy it. So what I love about this concealer is that it is phenomenal coverage, excellent coverage. It has a very nice texture to it, almost like a serum concealer. I don't think it is a serum concealer, but it has that texture to it where it just blends out so beautifully. A little bit goes a long way. In fact, I think I over applied here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of blend out, get the coverage, and then I'm gonna go back in and I'm just gonna take a clean brush and I'm gonna press it on here to just absorb any excess. You can also use a beauty sponge too, but you don't need a lot of this. A little bit goes a long way. And when we're talking about concealers, that is ideal because concealer by nature is gonna be like the heaviest complexion product that you're going to use. It has the most pigment, it has the most coverage, it's the most concentrated complexion product that you use. So you don't want to apply too much of it, especially under the eye area, because that skin is very delicate. That skin is a little thinner. It's also a little drier than other parts of the face. And it also is where we show texture, where we show smile lines, fine lines, wrinkles, all of that. Nothing wrong with that. I want to be clear, nothing wrong with that. But when we use a heavy product on top of thin, dry skin that's textured, the product can magnify that texture and make it look worse than it actually does. So this is nice because you can just use the tiniest amount and get away with using less product, but still getting full coverage. I do always set this with a powder, but it is very long lasting. I don't have issues with this creasing. It's just that nice consistency where it does set, but it's also not drying. I mean, it's just like flawless. It's just flawless. I love that. Okay, so next we're gonna go in and we are going to actually test a new product. I'm excited about this one. This was one that I picked up in my little haul. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch Powder, and I got the shade Pound Cake. So I got the loose version of this and I remember really enjoying it. So this is what the powder comes with. It's a much lighter powder, so this is gonna work as a slight highlighter for me. And then it does have a little sponge underneath. Shall we use a sponge? I think we'll use a sponge. So I'm just gonna take this and kind of pick up some product on the tip of it. I'm gonna use the tip to just set right underneath the eye, kind of set that concealer in place and slightly brighten. Okay, so this does mattify really nicely. It also is smoothing the under eye area a bit. Okay, so I do like the little sponge, but I like a brush better. I'm gonna go in with a brush and apply this in the other areas that I like to set, which is right here in the center of the face. Using a brush allows you to apply a little bit less. I'm gonna go around the nose. I'm just gonna go and just kind of sweep under the eyes again, just to make sure that we're not gonna have any creasing, and around the nose and around the mouth. I'm also gonna take this and kind of run it over the lips. This is just gonna prime the lip lines so that we don't have any feathering from our lip pencil when we get there. Perfect, okay, so nice. Okay, you guys, moving into bronzing and warming up the face. I just picked this up today, and this might have been a repeat purchase. I feel like I've purchased this product before. Do you ever do that? Do you ever purchase something and then realize that you had purchased that before you already had it? I need to go through my inventory, but I don't think that I have this. I have one of his blushes. This is the Patrick Ta, by the way, bronzer, and it's got a cream bronzer and a powder bronzer. But I know that I've purchased his foundation and then also his blush, so maybe I'm getting confused, but this is the shade She's Bronzed, and we're gonna go in first with the cream. I do like that it has this little plastic cover over it to keep it nice and neat and you don't have the two products mixing together. And I am gonna go in with my little angled foundation brush. I'm gonna go and just pick it up, use the long fibers to kind of pick this product up, and I'm just gonna use this to create some shape and definition on the cheekbone. This color is really nice. It's the second from the lightest, I believe. The one shade lighter is a lot more cool tone, and I kind of debated going that direction, but ultimately I was like, you know, I really like a little bit more warmth. Ooh, this is nice, very pigmented, but it does blend out really easily. The brush that I'm using is pretty dense and smaller, so naturally it's gonna deposit more color. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to take this and kind of sweep it into the hairline as well, just right here by the hairline, and then sweep it down the temple. So using a bronzer and then using that light powder like the Easy Bake, and using those two together is going to create more definition to the face, because that lightness is going to highlight the area and the bronzer is going to create definition and slightly contour. I've also really been into just applying a little bit of bronzer right here to connect my hairline and the top of my brow. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to apply it on the side of the nose. I'm not really doing a strong contour here. I just want a soft little sweep of this. This is just going to tie this all together. Do you see the difference on the two sides of my nose? So this side I've applied the bronzer, this side is nothing. You can just get a little more definition, but it's still very natural. Perfect. It also kind of ties it all together, just giving an overall structured, balanced look. So you don't just have structure here at the cheeks, but then nowhere else. Perfect, okay. I am gonna take a powder bronzer brush, and we're gonna set everything with a little bit of the powder. And I'm gonna have a very light hand because again, I don't know how pigmented this is gonna be. And I just softly wanna set it. I don't really wanna deepen it. Okay, I really love this product. This is nice. I like that there's a cream and a powder combo. And the shade is very, very beautiful. Perfect. Okay, so for eyes, I'm gonna play with the Rare Beauty Cream Shadow Sticks. I really wanted to jump on here and recommend these. I am a huge fan of cream shadow sticks, and I am for so many reasons. So number one, they're just so easy. They're easy and quick, but they still give a beautiful overall look, and no one has to know it took you 20 seconds to do your eyeshadow, so I love that. I also love that when it comes to shimmers on the eyelid, I really feel like cream products lend themselves to just having a prettier look on all eyelids, but especially mature eyelids. When I use powder shimmers throughout the day, it tends to look a bit more dry, and it just doesn't give as complimentary and flattering of a look as cream or liquid shadows do. And if you find the right formula, it will last all day. You want to find something that is creamy initially, but then sets really nicely so that it doesn't smudge or move or crease. Now, the two shades that I have from Rare Beauty are the shade, let's see, I have the shade Adventure, and then I have the shade Contentment. So let me swatch these for you guys so you can see. So this is the shade Adventure, and both of them are neutral. Both of them have shimmer. This is just a really pretty kind of classic bronze, golden bronze. Very beautiful. Let me cover that so it focuses. There we go. Okay. And then this is Contentment, and it is similar, but it's a bit more pinky, a little more rosy of a neutral bronze. So both of them are beautiful, but you can see the difference in that bottom one is just a little bit more rosy. I'm gonna go with the top one. We are gonna go with Adventure today. So I don't have anything on the eyes. I'm gonna go straight to the eyelid with this product. It is so rich and pigmented. You can also use these as like eyeliner. I like to use these on the lower lash line sometimes as like a smoky liner look. And I'm gonna be pretty generous with this. I'm gonna apply it all over the lid, back and forth to get a fully opaque, rich look. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Okay, now before I go to the other side, I am gonna blend this out. You can use your finger, but right now I'm actually gonna use a shadow brush because I want a really pretty, nice blend, and I wanna shape that blend out. If I'm using a lighter color, I'll just go in with my finger and blend it out, but because I wanna really shape this look and create more of like that rounded eye, I wanna go in with a brush. And I'm just going back and forth, kind of blending out the edge and kind of diffusing it up into the crease. This color is so stunning. This formula is definitely one of the like softer cream shadow stick formulas I've used. This is one of my favorites along with Bobbi Brown. Bobbi Brown has great cream shadow sticks. They also are creamy and silky. They're a little bit more lightweight than this one, but they also blend out beautifully and they last forever. Very long wearing. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Look at that, so pretty. One eyeshadow. This is a great one and done look. Let's go to the other side. When I'm using cream shadow sticks, I don't use another primer. This is my primer. But with that said, I typically don't layer powder shadow on top of these. I feel like that can look a little heavy. So when I'm using a cream shadow stick, I should say a cream shadow stick with color and shimmer, that is my eyeshadow. Maybe I'll put a shadow in the crease, but I don't really layer shadow on top. It's a nice bronze smoky look. So easy. Okay, I am going to kind of sweep this out a little bit to kind of elongate the eye, create that roundness at the top, but then elongate it on the outer corner. Perfect. Okay. So nice. Okay, next we're gonna go and highlight the brow, and I'm popping into this Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette. This is a beautiful palette. I recommend this if you didn't pick this up when it launched. It sold out kind of quickly, and then they just kind of recently restocked it, and I've been recommending it to everyone. I'm going in with this lightest kind of peachy ivory shade, and I'm just gonna pop this right underneath the eyebrow just to give a little bit of a lift and highlight. You could also use that Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder too. Sweep that right underneath there. This doesn't have any shimmer, it's just matte. I like to mix matte and shimmer shades on the eye rather than going with all shimmers. Perfect, okay. Next, I am gonna take this shadow. I know I said I don't layer shadow on top, but I just broke my own rule. I'm gonna go in with this shadow right here in my finger. These shimmer shades right here are great toppers. So they add a lot of sparkle, but they're not opaque. They don't have a whole lot of pigment. So it's okay to add it to a look like this where I have a more opaque cream shadow stick on. Just gonna pop that right there just to give a little extra highlight and shimmer. This step is totally unnecessary. I just wanted to show this palette a little bit more than just that one shade under the brow. Okay, so pretty. Almost gives it like a wet look. Okay, perfect. Next, I'm gonna go in and line the eyes. This is the Makeup by Mario Felt Tip Liner. And I'm just gonna lay this on its side, and I'm gonna create a very, very thin line right at the lashes, the root of the lashes. This pen's super opaque. It has a nice flexible tip and a very nice pointy tip. So when you're trying to get a very thin, precise line like I am, it's really nice. And you don't have to use a lot of pressure. When I'm looking for felt tip pens like this, or liquid liner pens, I'm looking for a tip that has some flexibility and that has a super fine tip. That's how you're gonna have the most control and really be able to get a thin line. So I give myself a little bit of a wing. I love this one. I also recommend the Danessa Myricks. It's her liquid liner. Is it called Fly Line? No, that's Fenty. That one's good too, but the Danessa Myricks one is really good. I'm gonna list and link that one down below for you as well. Kind of resist the urge to go over and over and over with it. And if you ever mess up with liquid liner, one little hack that you can do is always take a dark shadow, just kind of run it over that and it'll fix it and soften it. So that's another little hack. And actually we're gonna go and do that right now. So I'm gonna go in with the same palette. I'm gonna use the darkest shade right here, this dark brown. I'm gonna pick it up with a little pencil brush. And we're just gonna kind of run this right on top of that outer part of the line. Just literally sweep it back and forth right over it. Okay, so to finish up the eyes for the lower lash line, we're gonna keep it bronze, we're gonna keep it shimmery. I'm going in with definitely my favorite eyeliner of all time. This is the color Chameleon by Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the shade Amber Haze. I have lost count on how many of these I have purchased. I absolutely love this product. It is an eyeshadow crayon, so it's not quite like the shadow sticks. The tip is thicker than your normal eyeliner, but it's not as thick as a shadow stick. I use these as eyeliners. You can also use them as eyeshadow. So this product is gonna dry down quicker than like your typical average cream shadow stick. And I say that because it really lends itself for being a better eyeliner than I think eyeshadow. I would have a difficult time blending this out compared to a cream shadow stick. So keep that in mind. If you're purchasing this, I think you're gonna find that your best use is for eyeliner. But this color is beautiful. It's like this olivey, shimmery bronze shade. It's just so nice. I love it for the days where I don't have time to do eyeshadow and I just want to throw something on my eyes that's gonna complement my eyes, and I'll literally just line my entire eye with this, and it's so nice. Even though it does set, you do have a little bit of time. So I'm gonna go in real quickly. I'm just taking a clean brush, there's nothing on it, and I'm just gonna sweep it on top of that liner just to set it and soften it a little bit. Okay, perfect. Okay, next we're gonna go in and apply my favorite lash primer, the Dior lash primer. The Sephora Savings event is a time that I always stock up on my lash primer, my mascaras, products that I just use every single day and that are the products that I rarely rotate. I do rotate mascaras, but this lash primer is hands down my favorite. I love this product. I've used it for probably a decade, if not longer. And I'm gonna layer this on the lash. What I love about this is it's gonna make your mascara go further. So if your mascara is a lengthening mascara, it's gonna make it work even more as a lengthening. If it's a volumized, you're gonna even get more volume. But it also is a conditioning lash primer. So it actually improves the health of your lashes and quality of your lashes if you use this daily. Then I'm using the Grande Lash Mascara, Grande Cosmetics Mascara. I really enjoy this mascara. This is one that's in my rotation. Just gives dramatic, long, and full lashes. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna do a tiny little coat on the bottom, not much. If you can, resist the urge to layer a lot of mascara on your lower lashes. I'll get a lot of questions on like, you know, my mascara, my eyeliner smudges throughout the day. And honestly, it could be a few things. It could be the mascara that you're using. It could be the concealer that you're using isn't fully setting and it's heating up throughout the day, causing those oils to break through and kind of impact your eyeliner or your mascara that you use. But one way to avoid that is just to use less mascara. Also, it looks prettier. I think it looks softer when we don't have a heavy lower lash line. Next, we're going in with the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush, and I grabbed the shade Hope. Now, this blush is very, very pigmented, so I always like to apply it either underneath foundation. In this case, I didn't do that. So I'm gonna apply it to the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna take my brush, and I'm gonna work it into my brush, just using the tip of my brush to pick up a little bit of that product. And then I'm actually gonna kind of blot it on my hand before I go into the skin. Less is more. You can always go in and add more, but if you over apply blush, sometimes you can run into an issue where it's difficult to blend out. This blush is absolutely beautiful, super long staying power, very pigmented. You just wanna be careful when you apply it so that you can control how much you apply. If you are someone that likes a lot of pigment in your blush and you like a punch with your blush, this is one that you will love. Oh my gosh, that is so, so pretty. It is so beautiful, but you can see that you do get a lot of pigment. So start off small and then kind of slightly build up. I like to start in the apples of my cheek and I make brush strokes down, but then I move the brush up so I get this little lift. This color is really nice and beautiful. I'm gonna blend it up here into the temple. I don't always do that, but I do with certain colors. This does really look like flush from within your skin, like a natural flush. So I'm gonna take that all the way up here. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I love this combo of the blush, the bronzer, and that powder, the Huda Beauty powder. It just is giving a really nice look to my complexion. Very smooth and highlighted and just pretty. Love that. Moving on to lips. This is my favorite lip liner of the moment. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium 2. So the original Pillow Talk is going to be lighter. This is like that ideal lip color, or at least my ideal lip color. I don't have a lot of color to my lips, and this just makes them just look so beautiful and healthy. It's got a pinky rosy tone to it, and it's a little deeper than my natural lip color, but it still looks natural. I'm going to slightly overline my lip line. I just love this color. I think it's so stunning. It's just that great everyday rosy color that's not too light and muted, but not dark either. So pretty. Do you see what that does? It just makes my lips come alive. Okay, for lipstick, I'm going to one of my classic favorites. This is from Charlotte Tilbury and it's the shade Live It Up. It is a beautiful kind of rosy pink, very pigmented. The formula is nice and hydrating, but it's not super shiny. It's not matte either. Very, very great staying power. And to gloss the lips, I mean, I don't think you really need to, but we're gonna use one of my favorite lip glosses from Sephora, and it's a great price point. And actually, the Sephora brand, again, is 30% off through the Sephora Savings event. So, and that's for everybody. This is the lip plumper in the shade 01 Outrageous. And I'm just gonna pop this right on top. This has a little bit of color, but it's basically like a kind of pearly kind of moonstone color, so it works on top of any shade. And it's just gonna give really full, juicy lips. So pretty. So that wraps up this video. I'm gonna have all the products that I use listed and linked along with shade names in the description box below, as well as all the details for the Sephora Savings event, including the dates, the discounts, and just everything you need to know to shop the event. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.